What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lost Boy Skates podcast. I'm your host, Lost Boy Skates. You can find us on Instagram at Lost Boy Skates 88 or at Lost Boy Skates Podcast. Today's video is sponsored by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel Company is a clothing brand that does a lot of mental health awareness and advocacy. Uh, if you guys know me, you know that I've been working in the mental health field for the past 16 years. I really enjoy supporting this brand just because I like the message that they send. It's about positivity, it's about living your best life, and it's about accepting who you are as a person. Um, right now, I'm wearing one of their t-shirts. It's an extra large. It will shrink and will fit me like a very comfortable large. I did try on a large, and unfortunately it shrank and it fit me more like a larger size medium. They're very comfortable shirts. They're breathable. I love wearing them when I skate, and I really appreciate them for sponsoring this video. On top of that, if you go on their website, which the link will be below, and you use the code LostBoySkates88, you'll get 10% off your purchase, anything that you purchase. And just remember, every time that you go and you use that code, you're helping to support the channel grow. You're also helping support the Lost Boys Skate Park series. Now, with that being said, today I'm going to be doing another history video on Ned Peanut Brown. Ned Peanut Brown was the second professional skateboarder to come from Delaware. The first time I had ever heard of Ned Peanut Brown was when I watched Gotcha Grind 1988 event on DVD. This event, there were famous skaters like Tony Hawk, Christian Hosoi, just a lot of really good guys out there who flourished throughout the 80s. This was a vert event. What made him stand out the most was that they identified him as being from Wilmington, Delaware. And it blew my mind because I had never really thought about, you know, the history of skateboarding in Delaware, professionals that had come from Delaware, and the influence that they had on the skate community at large. Mind you, this was also in February, so it was also Black History Month, which I found really fascinating because then I'm on Instagram and I see that First State Skate Supply made a post honoring Peanut Brown. So that's when I decided I needed to know more about him. I needed to know more about history in skateboarding in Delaware. So, according to what I could find, right, Peanut Brown started skating in 1975. He once made a skateboard in a shop class in middle school. And then in 1982, he kind of stopped skating and moved on to some more organized sports. In 1984, while at University of Delaware, he skated in a ditch contest, and it rekindled that motivation for him to start skating again. I know from my personal experiences with skateboarding, there have always been some trigger that's caused me to want to get back into it. I skated real heavy until I was 19. I had a lot of injuries. I had to stop skating. And then I picked it up again somewhere around like 23, 24 for a short period. A couple of my guy friends had, come back up and we were, starting to skate again. But then I kind of lost that motivation again. And then when I was about 27, finding a board in my basement, all of a sudden I was like inspired to go try and ride it. And then I wanted to figure out if I could do these tricks again. And so it just kind of, spiraled from there. It just continued to grow. And that's kind of what happened with Peanut Brown. He skated in this ditch contest and realized he could still do all these tricks. And so he decided that he was going to go skateboard full force all over again. He skated in the Chicago Blowout event in 1986 while he was still an amateur and took 5th place. One trick that really stuck out to me was that he did this crazy backside indie grab over the channel gap. I mean, he held that grab until the very last second, and he cleared that channel grab. He had a lot of air with this trick, and really, it was probably my favorite trick of the whole video. And watching some of these old 80s videos, if you don't understand the tricks at the time, it can be kind of bland. But to see somebody really put that much effort into a backside indie grab just really captured my attention. He went pro in 1986, making him the second pro skateboarder from Delaware, as I previously mentioned. He skated in his first pro contest in 1986 at Gotcha Grind in Seattle, Washington. He ended up placing 13th. However, his run was damn near flawless, with his run including multiple back-to-back hand plants, with one of them being an alley-oop invert. Okay, so picture this. You're going up and you alley-oop, and you throw your hand down. He didn't just place his hand down, he ollied and then put his hand down and came back in. Even for today's pros, that's still a really difficult trick to do. During his run, he also threw down a solid frontside Madonna before continuing to do multiple hand plants again. He ended with a fakie 360 mute grab, and he skated against the likes of Tony Hawk, Christian Hosoi, Lance Mount, and many more. 13th, I don't think that was very deserving. And I'll tell you why. Lance Mountain skated in that competition, and Lance fell several times, and he placed way higher than Peanut Brown did. And I just don't think that was very deserving. And I'm being very opinionated here because, in my opinion, when you skate in a competition, yes, it sucks when people repeat tricks, right? But if you throw down a solid run without a fall, without even looking sketchy, I'm sorry, you should place higher than 13th, right? Against somebody who may be trying harder tricks, but falls multiple times. Just my opinion. Um, he ended up working for Airborne Skateboards from 1987 until 1992, during which time he became the first professional skateboarder to go to South Africa while on tour. In 1988, Peanut Brown became the first East Coast skater with a pro model through Airborne Skateboards. Some of his sponsors have also included Sure Grip, Zorlac / Airborne, Kryptonics, Stedham, and Billabong. I didn't even know Billabong even existed back that far. Also in 1988, Peanut Brown was reportedly in a physical altercation with Jason Jesse due to Jason Jesse reportedly using racial slurs towards Peanut Brown. Though there are some discrepancies in what actually took place. Some people have said that Peanut Brown straight whooped his ass, and others say he just pushed him off the half pipe. There's also some people that have said that he punched Jason Jesse and Jason Jesse got knocked out. Perfect response. I know most of the time we say walk away from violence and things like that, and I don't necessarily fully support violence, but there's no room for racism, bigotry, misogyny in skateboarding. Skateboarding is for everyone. And if you want to express your beliefs, that's perfectly fine, but be willing to accept those consequences if you express those beliefs and they just happen to be, again, racist, bigotist, or misogynistic. So moving on. Around 1992, Peanut Brown stated he had pretty much stopped skating competitively and professionally, but he was still working in the industry. He would go on to later race motorcycles professionally. I think that's really cool because most people who do like skateboarding also have interest in other areas where it gives them kind of like that same rush that skateboarding gave them. Before I started skateboarding, I actually did BMX. And before BMX, I did a lot of contact sports. And then even while I was skateboarding, I did some contact sports as well. I played football. I tried out lacrosse with some of my friends. Really never got into those the same way I got into skateboarding. Even snowboarding and surfing. I didn't really care for surfing too much, but during the wintertime, there was nothing better to do. And in Delaware, when I was younger, it used to snow a lot more. So we'd go snowboarding and, build little ramps with the X Factor ramps and fly off of them, try and do grabs and spins. Just a lot of cool, really cool stuff. With that being said, I really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to continue checking out the podcast, and everybody that's subscribed, liked the podcast, and left me, messages or comments, different things like that, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. Please continue to do so. It really helps me continue to improve the podcast. The next spot for the Lost Boys Skates skate park series is Wilmington Skate Park. I haven't decided which obstacle yet, but it's coming soon. And the winner will get a prize pack from Pond Scum Skate Wax, one of our sponsors, as well as something a little additional from me, plus $50 gift card or cash. Depends on what local skate shop you're trying to get to. All right, listen, I appreciate everybody taking the time to again watch the podcast and continue to give me feedback. Uh, Suggestions, comments are always welcome, whether negative or positive. It's just going to continue to help me grow and make this better. Again, I appreciate it. Keep skating, everyone.